Hello there, swarmers. Welcome back to the Hive. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to please give us a thumbs up if you like what we do, and sharing our channel would be even more fabulous. Thanks in advance. It's hard to believe that there are still people at large who think the climate crisis is a hoax. But then there are people who think the earth is flat and that COVID-19 is a power play by Big Pharma. So perhaps I shouldn't be surprised that some folks find comfort in conspiracies. Although we've seen a slow decrease in the number of outright climate deniers, there's been a disturbing uptick in the number of climate delayers, distractionists and doomists. So when you're around the table at your grandma's birthday, what are some of the things that you might hear from climate inaction's new players? Here's 3 common arguments and some suggestions on how to handle them. Number 1, they say, yes, the climate is changing, but it always has. You say, I know, you're right. The climate has always changed, and we've seen huge fluctuations over thousands of years, like going in and out of ice ages. But the thing is, these fluctuations have literally taken thousands of years to play out. What we're seeing now is different. There were a few studies recently published in Nature and Nature Geoscience, which looked extensively at historical data. One of the papers asserts that temperature rises over the past 2 decades have been far more rapid than any rises experienced in the previous 2 millennia. Another documents that the Little Ice Age reached its extreme point in the 15th century in the Pacific Ocean, the 17th century in Europe, and the 19th century elsewhere. This differs vastly from recent times, where we've seen record-breaking heat year after year, and more importantly, globally. So at this stage, there is 97% consensus among scientists that not only is global warming happening, but it is caused by us. If I saw 10 doctors and 9 of them said I needed surgery to save my life, I would have the surgery, wouldn't you? Number 2, they say, carbon dioxide is natural. Plants and animals need it to live, and the more plants get, the better they grow. You say, you're spot on, it's essential. One of the beautiful things about our Earth is that everything works when she's in balance. Too much or too little of anything is damaging. Without any carbon dioxide in our atmosphere, we'd be unable to survive on this planet because it would simply be too cold. The greenhouse effect actually keeps the temperature to a range where human, animal and plant life can thrive. And you're also right that rising carbon dioxide has been shown to increase photosynthesis in plants, causing them to grow more rapidly. But scientists have proven that this increased productivity is short-lived. They get to a point of carbon dioxide saturation where the high levels are no longer beneficial. Plus, any food crops grown at higher levels of CO2 are less nutritious, with zinc, iron and protein all dropping. The other thing is that we can't cherry pick what impacts rising atmospheric carbon dioxide brings. Along with more productive plant growth for a period, we also get droughts, heat waves and floods, none of which are conducive to productive crops or trees. In fact, did you know that a mass extinction event 201 million years ago has been put down to high atmospheric carbon dioxide and intense ocean acidity? Isn't that crazy? Number 3, they say, you drive a car, you're actually part of the problem. You say, yeah, I do drive a car when I have to. Unfortunately, we haven't had the system changes required to enable me to travel very far without my car right now. But thankfully, that's changing. And that's exactly what we, the climate activists and environmentalists and proponents of clean energy, are trying to achieve. Currently, we're trapped in a society beholden by fossil fuel extraction and sale. I can't participate in society, like being able to do my job, without using tools provided by fossil fuels. And this is the big problem. So I will do every day everything possible to live with as small of a carbon footprint as I can. You know, it's actually less expensive to have a smaller carbon footprint, but that's another conversation. The short of it is that I recommend anyone who can reduce their carbon footprint does. But would I ask a nurse who lives in a regional town to give up his car and ride his bicycle to work in the snow? No, I wouldn't. I would instead ask him to petition to his local government officials to invest in electric vehicle infrastructure and work on increasing EV rebates instead of contributing to fossil fuel subsidies. Once we implement system changes and create a society divested from the fossil fuel companies, we can all enjoy a far better future on this beautiful planet, especially all of our grandchildren. And if I'm really honest, the fossil fuel executives are wealthy beyond my imaginings. I don't want to be part of making them richer while they keep harming our planet. Did you see the latest oil spill? It was devastating once again. Now I'm talking to you, Swarmer. This argument can be made even trickier because we're duped into asking it even of ourselves and our fellow climate action warriors. We can very quickly start pointing so-called hypocritical fingers at other so-called hypocrites. So please always remember that we do our best in our own lives and offer only support and encouragement to others who are doing the same. Although it's sometimes hard, it's always best to aim for an open and respectful conversation. The way we can achieve that is to ask questions of the person we're chatting with. Try to understand why they're using that particular argument to try to delay climate action. Are they a coal mine worker fed fear-inducing propaganda by their employer? Are they near or below the poverty line and believe that making sustainable lifestyle decisions and supporting the cause is actually going to cost them? Are they afraid of the scale of the issue and the changes that our society will need to make? All of those viewpoints and opposition statements are then completely understandable. We need to understand where they're coming from. It's likely that through asking some questions and gaining insight into their motivations, we'll actually find some common ground. We can then restart this conversation from a much better place. Solving the climate crisis can't be done with simple black and white, right and wrong thinking. But of course, we have to also be ready to just walk away from some conversations, knowing that our energy is better spent protesting on the street than with certain people who literally can't be moved from their position. This is just the tip of the iceberg as we discover more and even more insidious ways that climate delayers try to throw us off our path. Let us know the most far-out thing you've heard from people wanting to support the fossil fuel industry. We're going to bring another video with a further 3 points of fact and potential arguments. There's some doozies. We look forward to hearing from you, and until next time, lovely swarmers, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay sustainable.